Howdy y'all, this is Diwari with Uniquely Average Gamers, and we are going to be playing a little bit more Destiny. The topic of this video is going to be a kind of like a handy-dandy little guide on how to kill the boss of Cerebes Vae on Nightfall Mode. Now in our group here we've got me, we've got my buddy Jungle Chief, and we've got my buddy Big Guadi. Our group makeup right now is me, Hazy Mage as a Sun Singer, we've got Jungle Chief and Big Guadi both as Defenders. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Now you'll see me sitting down right here. Don't leave this room. When you enter the arena to fight this boss, you're going to notice he's going to come out of the garage door in the back. He's going to have his little WWE intro. He's going to be immune to damage during that time, so don't waste your bullets. But this room that we're standing in is incredibly defensible, and it's pretty much going to be where you want to stand throughout the entirety of this fight. There's a couple different structures in the way that prevents the boss from being able to hit you with his 2 rotating attacks. He essentially has the ability to fire a minigun and fire missiles and volleys that home in on a given character. If you do get close to the boss, he has a 360 AoE that will practically one-shot any character in the game, so just stay a little bit far away from him. Now, the reason that this room is so defensible is that during this fight, you're going to see wave after wave of adds incoming, and this room is going to not have any sort of wave spawn points within it, so it obviously makes the ideal choice for the arena around you. Now you're going to have 3 different types of enemies that are going to be spawning alongside the boss throughout the fight. You're going to have Scions, which are going to be the little tiny kind of quick agile Cabal units. You're going to have Phalanxes, which are going to be the Cabal with the shields. And of course you're going to have the General Legionnaires, which are just kind of the run-of-the-mill infantry unit of the Cabal. If you were to prioritize these enemies when they spawn, I would highly recommend always killing the Scions first, followed by the Legionnaires, and lastly the Phalanxes. And the reason for this is because the Phalanxes and the Legionnaires are rather hesitant to come into your little safety room here. But the Scions will run into your room and pretty much try and flank you and your team throughout the entirety of the fight. So you need to kill them quickly because everyone else will stay outside, but the Scions will come in and try and get you, so you got to take them out. Make sure that you are focusing on the adds before running back to DPSing the boss, because the adds do stack up quickly and they can overwhelm you. As time goes on through the fight, you will see that the adds will turn into majors, meaning that they have yellow health bars, which means they have significantly higher health and need to be focused fire down as a group. So, a couple things that are going to help you really increase your DPS throughout this fight and keep you alive is your group makeup. Now, typically you have 3 slots, so you're likely to have either a Titan or a Warlock with you. With your Warlock, I recommend having them run Sun Singer, so that way they can self-resurrect if they get hit. For the Titans, I recommend having Ward of Dawn equipped with Weapons of Light, so that way you and your teammates can burst fire down the adds or focus fire down the boss if you need to. At any rate, these 2 items, both the Weapons of Light and the Fireborn ability, the Sun Singer, are going to be the 2 most useful utility moves that you have. Of course, other classes can bring in good DPS, but you're going to want to make sure that you have survivability put ahead of DPS during this fight. There is not an enrage timer that we encountered, so it just matters about staying alive and keeping up fire on the boss. Now the boss is not going to stay at his spawn point throughout the entirety of the fight. In fact, when you get him to about 75%, he's going to walk to the other side of the room. As he's walking to the other side of the room, of course, adds will continuously be spawning, but the boss is also going to be firing more and more volleys of those missiles at you and your teammates, so you need to be a little bit defensive as he transitions. You can take pot shots from around corners while he does this. It's a great way to maximize DPS, but bear in mind that those missiles are going to be pretty hot for you, so you got to watch out. Don't get discouraged throughout this fight as well, because you will die. Deaths are okay, wipes are bad. If you die, have a teammate come pick you up, self-resurrect if you're a Sun Singer. If you see a teammate die, do what you can to get them up immediately. You want to have 3 people pushing out bullets on these adds to keep them off your ass. Now, you're not always going to have one with you, but I highly recommend bringing a Titan Defender with you into this fight. And the reason for that is Ward of Dawn. Ward of Dawn is going to be very, very wonderful both offensively and defensively. Defensively, it's of course going to protect you from enemy fire, and it's also going to drop Orbs of Light, which is going to increase the supercharge rate of you and your teammates. Offensively, and I would argue more importantly, you can equip Weapons of Light to Ward of Dawn. And Weapons of Light is a buff that allows teammates who run through Ward of Dawn to have a brief buff to their weapons damage. It's about a 10-second buff, and it is significant. It's big. So, When you find that the adds are low in number and you have an opportunity to focus fire down the boss as a group, have your Titan Defender throw up Ward of Dawn, and have your teammates keep up the buff Weapons of Light while you are burst firing down the boss. It is incredibly useful for capitalizing on the little bit of time you have to focus fire down the boss before the next wave of adds comes in.
Me. I got Wadi.
Now, from a standpoint of what elements should be on your weapon throughout this fight, I recommend bringing in Void weaponry, and the reason for that is the Scion Majors that pop up throughout the fight. They have very, very dense Void-based shields, and having a Void-based weapon is just going to make them all the easier. You can bring in other elements if you want. For instance, if you're a Sunsinger and you have Touch of Flame equipped, it can't hurt to maybe have a fire-based heavy weapon, so that way you can capitalize on the boss while in Radiance. Most of the time I saved Radiance as kind of a fail-safe to resurrect myself for when I died and did stupid things like that.
I gotcha. Shit. Yeah, you're kicking butt.
So as we stated before, if you're a Titan, we really recommend going Defender. If you are a Warlock, we really recommend going Sunsinger. If you're a Hunter, that one's a little bit more up in the air. It depends on your playstyle and your build. So if you are a Gunslinger, that Golden Gun is going to be very useful for taking down the Phalanxes. If you're a Blade Dancer and that hallway, your little safety room gets overwhelmed, Arc Blade is going to be really, really useful for clearing that out for you. Neither element for Gunslinger nor Blade Dancer is truly utilized in this fight, but as we mentioned before, just use whichever one works best for you. You're a killing machine. You don't have much in the way of utility, but you kill everything, so go. Just go. Fly, fly.
I should be able to... do something. Yeah, we got adds incoming from up top, but they'll be down here in a second. Weapons. They're down, they're down, they're down.
Now, as we mentioned earlier on, the boss does move around the arena throughout the fight. At about 75%, the boss is going to walk to the other side of the room. At about 50%, the boss is going to return to his spawn point. Below 50%, he gets a lot more erratic. He might track a player. He might walk randomly around the room. We didn't really see any rhythm to his rhyme. But we do recommend, if you do have the ability to kind of control where he walks, if he is tracking one of your players, have them drag him underneath a ceiling. And the reason for that is because his missiles will practically be removed at that point. The missiles fire out of his back and upwards before they track onto you. So as they fire, they would just be colliding with the ceiling or the overhang, what have you. And that pretty much makes them a moot point at that stage. So when you see him underneath an overhang, DPS him down, try and keep him there as long as possible, because that's really, really going to help keep the pressure down on you and your teammates to keep taking out the adds or just capitalize on the boss.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot, dude. Oh my, that's very big. Adds, Phalanxes incoming. Same spot. Oh shit. I'm really low on ammo, and we've got Scions incoming, major Scions. Yeah, put it up if you can. We need to kill the Scions first, because everybody else will remain stationary. These guys will come in and try and attack us.
So if someone was to ask me what I thought the hardest strike boss in Destiny was, I would absolutely point at this guy. He spawns a ton of enemies, he has a ton of health, he deals a ton of damage. The enemies have a ton of health, they do a ton of damage. There's just a lot going on. It's just pure pandemonium. But if you do stick to the safety room, if you revive your teammates as they fall, and if you make sure to focus down the adds and then fire on the boss, you'll be fine. So the priority of the adds is important, as we stated before, so it's a good little reminder. Take down the Scions first, then the Legionnaires, then the Phalanxes. Once they're thinned, back over to the boss. Weapons of Light is really going to help you burst down either the adds or the boss.
Got a dude right here. Yeah, for real. Boss is at the mouth of the entrance. He's at the center. I don't know, center exit, we'll call that. Sure. Ooh, is that Weapons of Light? Don't mind if I do. Oh, I'm dead. Pick me up if you can. he's not interested in me, but you know. Ooh, I got you. We'll do what you gotta do, man.
Now, I do hope that this video was helpful. This guy is no pushover. So if it was helpful, give it a like, a comment, subscribe. We always do appreciate every view we get. Check us out on the Twitters. You can find us at YouAverageGamers. This has been Diwari with Uniquely Average Gamers, and I'll see you on the inside of Destiny.